Hello, this is Chad. I'm about to do a video here on my workflow of getting models out of Blender into Mixamo from Mixamo.com, getting animations from Mixamo, downloading them, bringing the model back into Blender, and then combining all these different animations that we use on our character in Mixamo, combining them all into one blend file, and then exporting out to the GLTF format so that we can use them in LibsGD. So today I have a very basic base female model that I have on my hard drive from probably 20 years ago. I had a base male and a base female that I use, and I think I modeled these from reference drawings that I had got off the internet or something. If I recall correctly, it's been so long, but I always use these for like stand-ins and stuff like that, or just like a starting point if I'm going to create a humanoid type character or something like that. So anyway, and it's good to have stuff like that, um, especially if you're going to start doing your own artwork in Blender or any other 3D modeling package. But a couple of things I want to show you to begin with is I have the, I guess you could say, the kind of like statistics or attributes, like a slide out window right here where it shows the location, the rotation, and the scale of the model, and then you can see the dimensions down at the bottom. And the shortcut key is N, like N as in Nancy, to make that pop in and out. So a couple things about the model is I have this model where if you click on it and select it, and I say object, apply, all transforms, this basically takes any kind of location information while you're modeling in Blender, any rotation information, and any scale type information, and it zeroes it all out. It gets the scale from X, Y, and Z 1, 1, 1. So this is a good thing to do usually before you export a model out and move it into another type of 3D program, so that you can, make sure that you're comparing apples to apples. And for a human model, the dimensions, I always try to make sure if it, it looks generally like a human. The height, I always make my adult human characters around somewhere between about 1.8 and 2 meters. And so in Blender, the Z-axis goes from the floor up to the head. As you can see, Z is in blue here. X is left and right. And if we want to view the model straight on, press 1 on your numpad. That shows it directly. That's a great shortcut. 1, 3, and 7, which gives you the front view, the side view, and the top view. And then if you hit Control, you can see the inverse of that. So 1, then Control 1 shows you the back of the model. 3 shows you from, like, it looks like you're looking from the right side of the model. Control 3 switches to the left. 7 shows to the top. Control 7, bottom. So we'll go back to 1. And one thing to notice is that the Z-axis, the height, is around, I like to keep it from around 1.8 to 2 meters, which is a human being height of around, in American or maybe British units, it's around 5 feet 5 feet 10 inches tall to about 6 foot. I think 2 meters is like a little over 6 feet tall. So somewhere around there is where I like to keep that. That way, if everybody else use standard units for like buildings and other things that you drag into your scene, your human models are going to look like they're at the right height um, in comparison to the other things that are in the scene. Okay, so let me show you what I have here in terms of my folders set up. If I go to my D drive Blender, I have a folder called Animations, and I've created two folders, one for the blend files and one for the FBX files. So in order to get models in and out of Mixamo.com, you need to export and import in FBX format. That's the common format. I think it also supports OBJ, but you're going to have the best luck with FBX because I think it's just well updated and it's a more I guess consistent format to use. So anyway, um, and so within my blend folder, I have my base male with all my animations that I've been working on, but I decided to switch to a base female so that we can start from scratch and it's not all cluttered. So anyway, there's my base female blend file that we're looking at right here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export this out to an FBX format. And I'm going to save that FBX in my base female FBX folder that I created. So let's file, export, go to FBX. Now in here, okay, so I'll go D drive, Blender, Animations, FBX, base female. And we have base female.fbx. We don't have any animations. I don't think this stuff really matters. Also one other thing I wanted to for you to take note of is in the Blender scene, notice that I've deleted the camera, and I've also deleted the the default light and camera, because for this importing and exporting kind of stuff into the game engine, you don't really need that default camera and light, and it's actually certain formats will export that camera and light along with the model, and unless you tell it specifically. And sometimes you can, when you import it back into Blender later on, you got two cameras and two lights, a copy of each one. And so I like to keep things clean. So, and we just want to have, focus on just what we need. And here we have the base female model, and then in the hierarchy underneath it, it's in the mesh, just like it works in LibsGD. The model keeps all the location, rotation, and scale information, and then this is the mesh information, which is basically your vertices, your edges, and your faces. So that's your mesh information. And then you also have underneath the mesh, I have just a very simple material set up called base female material. And the tab to go to the materials down here. So anyway, let's go ahead and export it. File, export, FBX, and then I have my, okay, this is the wrong folder. I need to go to my FBX folder, D drive, Blender, Animations, FBX, base female, and then base female FBX, and export it. All right, now we're going to switch over to a web browser, and I'm going to go to Mixamo.com. Right? And you probably have to set up an account at Mixamo in order to use it, but it's no big deal. And I think if you have like a Google account, it'll automatically set it up. And as you can see, Mixamo is an Adobe product, but everything is pretty much free in it. And you can see this is my base male model that I was using last time. It remembers. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and upload the base female that I just exported out of Blender. Hit upload character, select character file, and then let's go over to D drive, Blender, animations, FBX, base female, and base female FBX. Okay. So now it pulls that in. All right. And we're in the auto rigger. So the way that it was set up in Blender, because we got everything correct in Blender, we won't have to do anything here. I had it sitting right on the, the feet sitting right on the floor, and it lined up, everything lined up properly, right in the middle. So we hit next, and then all we have to do is drag these particular points on the model so that the auto rigger can do its thing. So if you come right here, drag that to the chin, and if you notice to the right, it has a zoomed in view so that we can make sure we get right on it. So put that on the chin. Wrists, grab it right here, right on the wrists. Elbows and knees and groin, about right there. All right. Now, here we want, standard skeleton is fine. For simpler models, I usually will go to like no fingers, because it just, you just have this, there's 65 bones in this, but that's helpful, if you're going to do some like creating your own animations along with the ones you get out of Mixamo, and how complicated of a skeleton do you really want? But for this purposes, I'm just going to leave this at 65, and it's going to find the fingers and everything. So hit next here, and it's going to go ahead and do auto rigging. And since this is a pretty simple model, and as long as your model looks fairly humanoid, it'll do a really good job of rigging. It's very strong at that. All right, so there we go. We'll hit next here, and this is just saying proceed with this new character. Yeah, that's fine. All right, now we're going to grab a couple animations for her. The first one I'll look for is like an idle. So I'll come right here into the search box and I'll type idle. And this is the one I used for the male character. So for the female, let's try something a little different, just to mix it up. All right, that one's kind of cool. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, it says idle on base female up here. I'm going to hit download, and with skin, because the first download, we're going to keep the skin because that's going to have the skin, and then it's going to have the Mixamo boned rig attached to it automatically. So I'm going to hit download. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that in my FBX folder that I created. So Blender, animations, FBX, base female. And so since this is the idle animation, I'm going to call this base female idle. All right. Now, I want to get a couple other animations to go along with this one. Let's say like a walk and a run. So let's grab a walk. This is a very female walk right here. Let's see. Yeah. Now, for a game engine, see how it's walking forward here? We want to choose in place here. It's a lot easier to deal with. And that is a very female walk. But anyway, that's fine. And then we hit download here and change with skin to without skin, because This is just going to export the skeleton and the animation, and I'm going to show you how to combine those in Blender later on. All right, so download this. Okay, save as, and we're in the FBX folder, and I'm going to call this base female walking.fbx. All right, and in one more, we'll get a run. Fast run is the one that I was using before. Again, we want to click in place. Let's see this one. That's a very like sprinter athletic run. I like it. All right, so we're gonna grab this running. All right, download without skin. Download and save as, and base female running. All right, now we can leave Mixamo. And I'm going to end this video here, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how to re-import these models into Blender, or this model into Blender, and then combine everything into one blend file. So, see you in the next video.